Gifts. Thank you so much. What's up, everybody?
Yeah!
Whoa, what's going down? Wow, there's a lot of people here. This is crazy. I woke up this morning, got picked up by a car, flew on a plane, got picked up by another car, and now I'm here. So, this is my first time in Guelph. How you guys doing? Am I pronouncing it correctly? Yeah. This is actually my second time in Ontario. I shot a movie in Toronto a few years back called Take the Lead.
Yeah.
So I love Toronto. I love Canadian. I call it Canadian. I love Canadian. This is the Fire Nation panel. This is, me talking about my Avatar days and my life and time in the Fire Nation. So, my name is Dante Basco. I'm an actor. Years ago now, I think Avatar is now 9 years old. I just read that on Tumblr like today or yesterday, which is crazy, right? That Avatar is 9 years old, so Zuko's like 9 years old in my life. And so my life in the Fire Nation, it basically starts like this, I've been an actor for a large part of my life, forever. And then I kind of stumbled into voice acting, and I started voice acting shows like American Dragon, Jake Long. Yeah, you guys know Amdrag, so, I mean, he is American, but I don't know if there's Canadian Dragon, there probably is out there. But in the middle of shooting that, I got an audition for a new show for Nickelodeon, and it was called Avatar. I didn't think it was like the last Airbender, it was like Avatar. And I was like, this is weird, okay, it's cool. And so I go to the Nickelodeon lot, and in Los Angeles, the Nickelodeon lot, especially during that time, it's on Olive Boulevard in Burbank, and it's changed a little bit now, but at that time, it's this big white building, right? And the roof of the building is all painted green because of the slime, like Nickelodeon, like Double Dare. So the whole roof has like slime on it, and you walk in, and it's like, at that time especially, it's like a bunch of pictures of like SpongeBob SquarePants, and like the dog cat thing, what's the dog cat? Cat dog, and a bunch of stuff like that. And then they give me a script that's that obviously I can tell is an anime-inspired martial arts epic situation. And I'm like looking at SpongeBob like, no way. This isn't gonna work for Nickelodeon. What do I know, right? And I'm in there auditioning, and unbeknownst to myself, and maybe a lot of people, besides probably Mike and Brian, that this thing became this phenomenal hit, like almost overnight in a weird way. We did this series. I think I did pretty much most of the first season. In the middle of doing the second season, I didn't know how much of a hit it had become. And matter of fact, I was in Toronto, and the first time I really realized like this thing was like pretty big. I'm shooting Take the Lead, and I'm Last Airbender, since it's a dance movie and whatnot, right? And I'm leaving the set like once a week to go shoot, to do these recordings in the studio in Toronto. And Antonio was like, oh, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm going to do this cartoon. And of course Antonio was like, oh, you do voiceovers? He's all Spanish. And I'm like, yeah, he goes, I do voiceovers too. And I'm like, that's right, you're in Shrek. He's like, yeah. I'm like, we do different kind of voiceovers. I'm like, you get paid millions of dollars to be Puss in Boots. He's amazing, but he was like talking to me about voice acting, and it was great. But I'm thinking, what? He's crazy. I love Antonio. And then one of my buddies in the film was like, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm doing this cartoon for Nickelodeon, And I'm thinking, this guy's like 22 years old. I'm like, it's just a cartoon for Nickelodeon. And he goes, what is it? I'm like, oh, it's called Avatar: Last Airbender. And he freaks out. My buddy Brandon, big beast, big dude in the movie, he's like, what? That's my shit. And then he has like kind of fangirls, right? And I'm like, dude, you're a grown-ass man. Calm down, you wanna come with me? So he came with me to a bunch of the tapings, and we're in the booth, and he's like just tripping out that he's a fan of the show. And that's when I first started realizing, like, oh, this is like kind of a big deal. And it's not just for like, kids. It's like it became a story that's really transcending to an audience above and beyond. And so the first season or two of being Prince Zuko, I just figured I was a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I'm just some bad guy. Like, whatever. And then somewhere in the middle of the second season, and I like being a bad guy, there's nothing wrong with it, And I was working with Mae Whitman, and me and Mae, we did American Dragon together. I played Jake, and she played Rose. So we were like friends, and it was kind of cool that we were like doing 2 shows together. And then somewhere in the middle of the second season, like we were reading the scripts, and like me, Mae, Jack DeSena would be coming into the booths like, oh my God, did you guys read what's going on with these characters? And like little by little, we started seeing like the magic of what Mike and Brian were creating, and then it's like Zuko became one of the best characters I ever played in my life. That kind of crazy stuff. So yeah, the art of Zuko is, this is what the panel's about. There's a lot of stuff in my career. I think I've had different panels over the weekend, but tonight we're talking about Zuko. Why not? Prince Zuko, Fire Lord Zuko. I still think of him as Prince Zuko in my mind, but I guess he is a Fire Lord now. So, he is the Fire Lord. I can talk about different things, but does anyone has any questions out there that we'll talk together? Korra, what's your name? Asis.
Have you read The Search yet, where Zuko finds his mom?
Yes. Have you?
Yes, no spoilers, but it's
No. I dug it. Who read it? Anybody read it? You know the story. I dug it. I really liked it. They sent me the comics like right when they came out. Gene, who did the writing, he's a comic book writer, so I think he helped write the story. Even though I don't know how it works, but he's like one of the authors on it. But he's a great guy. And so he sent me the comics, and it's one of the biggest things that everyone always asks is what happened to Zuko's mother, and they go into it over these comic books, which is amazing. And I was actually on my YouTube channel, I voiced various scenes from all of the books. Like, not too much, I couldn't get spoilers and all that stuff, but I would like take a scene out and read them. But it's like kind of weird because it's like by myself in my living room. I'm just gonna read you guys some stuff. Which is funny because now people, like, there's this other thing I'm doing with my YouTube channel soon. Because people are always like, you should read this, or people like my voice, which I'm thankful for. And so people want me to like narrate their life and it's weird stuff. But so I have this new YouTube kind of show coming out soon. It's kind of like a vlog, but it's just called Dante Reads Things. First episode, Harry Potter, chapter 1. Yeah. I'm a Potterhead, so I love that, but whatever, I'm just going to read things. My YouTube is a fun place where I can kind of have fun with my friends who are writers, actors, producers, directors, and just be like, what do you guys want to do? Come over to my house and let's shoot some stuff and put it out there. So, Dante Reads Things. Chapter 1. Harry Potter. But I dug it. What'd you think about it? With no spoilers. We're like speaking in code,
I really liked it. I think there were... how do I do this without spoilers?
Please, no spoilers.
Pardon?
Please, no spoilers.
I know. There's so many people who are like, don't tell me, but was it glorious? And I'm like, the 6-year wait. You know what? I floated for a bit, and I really, really wish they had made a movie out of it.
Yeah.
I really wish they did. Not live action. God, no.
No.
Let's not open that one yet.
There are some scenes in the trilogy comic book that I would love to do with Grey DeLisle, because there's some great scenes between Zuko and Azula, and I love Grey anyway. So maybe I can just get Grey to come to my house. Be part of the Dante Reads Things series with Grey DeLisle, right? Desmond. Yeah, no.
I was just wondering how you felt when the live action movie.
You had to bring that up, didn't you? I mean, truthfully, I never watched the movie. I haven't watched the film, and Mike and Brian told me, don't watch the movie. Don't watch it. I kind of feel like I want to watch it so bad. Am I too loud? Yeah, I would like to watch it, you know. I mean, it's being filmed right now. Like, I'll be auditioning for M. Night Shyamalan and be like, in wealth, you said. No, M. Night, I was saying, I would love to work with you someday.
If you do watch it, put it on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, like, we could watch it. If I watched it, I would, like, watch it with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
The thing is, I mean, I do like M. Night's works in the past. Like, I love Unbreakable. I love Sixth Sense, of course. Some of the other films started getting a little bit away from me. But, and I think Dev Patel's a great actor. I love him and the work he does, so I don't know. But, you know, I'm very close to Zuko, so if you're not, like, really good with the situation. But the thing about I heard most of that is kind of disheartening, is I heard he lost a lot of the, or he didn't get the humor of which really helps make Avatar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That and the fact that he like renamed characters. That's kind of not cool. You know? Like, I know. So, I mean, I'll watch it someday, but I haven't watched it yet. Or maybe I won't watch it. Or maybe I'll work with...
Do it!
I know. Yes.
With your background in dancing, and I don't know how much background you have in martial arts, but did you ever try to learn any firebending techniques? And if you did, can you show us?
No, I couldn't. You know, there was Sifu Kisu was around, especially for the first season, during a lot of the taping and parties and certain things, and they would always show us certain aspects of it. And there's, you know, I'm a dancer and a break dancer, and I grew up doing martial arts, but I didn't learn any specific. The firebending, I think, was Shaolin Wushu, I believe, right? Northern Shaolin, I didn't study none of that stuff. But, as a matter of fact, on Thursday, I did a YouTube show with a channel, they're called Geek and Sundry, and I did this thing called Talking Comics with Amy. And I don't know Amy's last name, but she's super cool, comic chick. And we were talking about the comics, about the Avatar comics. And then we also had a Tai Chi dude in, and he taught us Tai Chi, which is waterbending. So even though I'm a Fire Nation dude, I'm also waterbending with this girl. But you know, it's Zutara month, so it's like, Yes? I can't ever say anything about anything, or else I'll get in trouble. But I like General Iroh, you know? He's around the whole Fire Nation doing stuff. Definitely. If they need him, I'm sure he'll come on a ship and do something. He's doing his stuff. He's doing what generals do in the Fire Nation, but he's around. They're all around, all these people in this world. Yes?
How did you get into the character for Zuko?
How did I get into the character? You know, for me, when I'm acting, it's like, I really don't like, because I grew up acting and I'm an on-screen actor, whatever, you know, like VO, on-screen, whatever. I don't really I don't differentiate what's going on. It's, whether it's a camera in front of me or a microphone, I'm still just kind of trying to act to be truthful in the moment. And, for me, just getting into the character, a lot of it is just kind of pulling from your own life experience and kind of me being in those situations. Especially for Zuko, there's a lot of stuff in my life that was going on that, you know, that coincided with characters going on. Mako, who played Uncle Iroh, a good friend of mine, and there was a lot of, you know, just my relationship with him has always been someone I looked up to, and he always gave me great advice for being a young actor in Los Angeles for the last 20 years. And then when he passed away, there's all that emotion. And like I said, it was like, it just happened to be a perfect thing. Like me and May knew each other for years, and it was just one of those great projects where everything kind of came together at the same time. So luckily I had to do a lot to get to the character. I just had to feel like the Prince of the Fire Nation. few hours a week. Questions? Yes.
First question, do you have a favorite joke from the Avatar franchise? And second question, can you wish me a happy birthday?
Happy birthday.
Can you say it again?
Hold on.
Yes. What's your name?
Remy.
Remy. Happy birthday, Remy.
Thank you.
But my favorite joke, I don't know, so many it's so weird because I see memes and all this kind of crazy stuff that people take out small moments, and there's a few that I love. Probably the one I love the most is when Sokka's talking about his girlfriend returning to the moon. And then, Zuko's like, that's rough, buddy. That's just hilarious to me. But that's the kind of great humor that I love about the series, because it's, especially with Zuko, he's like, he's pouting all the time, and he's this angst prince of the carnage, and with like a lot of, his dad stardom, there's like a lot of stuff going on, right? So, it's duly warranted. But with all this epicness going on, like we're trying to save the world kind of thing, there's a lot of humor, and I think that's kind of one of the fun things that keep the series like its own unique kind of greatness. Because if it took itself too seriously, it'd just be like, really? Have that kind of thing. So I love that. I love all the humor. Yes.
Can you go into your reasons as to why you support Zutara as a ship?
Man, we're gonna go to the shipping world and all these people get mad. This is the thing about shipping. If you don't know shipping, don't. But I'm like, the thing about shipping is, I at first for years I didn't want to mess with it because people are so passionate about their ships. But it's like fun, it's fun. Like shipping is fun.
What are your personal reasons as to why it's ship?
Why do I ship Zutara? Before I say anything, who ships Zutara here? Alright, awesome. There's some people here. Obviously the rest of you don't. Personally, I think people can ship whatever they want to ship. I think shipping should be fun. I don't think people should get mad about ships. A, it's not healthy. But have fun with ships. B, I ship Zutara and Zuko because, Zuko and Katara because, the thing is, I ship them even knowing that it's not canon and being cool with being not canon. It's like, as a person who's been through a bit of life and has had their ups and downs in love, my whole thing about shipping Zutara is that it's okay. Like, sometimes you're soulmates with somebody and you don't end up together, and it's all right. You know what I'm saying? It's like that happens. I always tell younger people, look, the person who you fell in love with in high school or college that you're not with now doesn't mean that love wasn't real, or that wasn't an important piece of your life, because it is. So I ship it in the way of the girl that you were in love with in high school. You know what I'm saying? In that way. And you don't always end up with that girl. And you probably shouldn't always end up with. I'm giving you personal advice right now. Sometimes you don't need to end up with that girl, but it doesn't make that girl any less special. And that.
Hey, my name's Jimmy.
What's up, Jimmy?
What's up? Do you have any tips for an aspiring actor or voice actor, maybe?
Yeah. Sure. Like what? What do you want to know about?
Well, how you got into it, maybe, or how you go about auditions.
Okay, so yeah, a lot of people ask about this, and it's always, it's always different. It's different for everybody. Obviously we're at cons, so most of the people at cons, or I would say everybody, or nearly everyone, is a creative person. It's like somewhere their heart's in creativity and in the arts. That's kind of why we're all here. That just happens to be what I do for a living, right? And so to act or voice act, how do you get started? My story is I started my life in the industry, in the entertainment industry, at the ground level, at the ground level of the entertainment industry. And does anyone know what the ground level of the entertainment industry is? No, the ground level of the industry is street performing. So me and my brothers in the Bay Area, San Francisco, were breakdancers back in the day, in the 80s. Streets of San Francisco.
I'm a breakdancer.
All right, see? So we start out cutting our teeth in as artists dancing in the streets. From that, got picked up by the San Francisco Ballet Company, ended up dancing for the 49ers, for the Oakland A's, ended up becoming one of the top breakdancing groups in the Bay Area, ended up moving to LA, and continued. The dance turned into acting turned into voice acting. It's just the life of an artist. The biggest advice that I give to any artist, young artist or whoever, that want to get involved in the world of creativity, in the life of an artist, is to understand that if you want to do this, whether it be acting, dancing, illustration, animation, filmmaking, costume design, you want to live the life of an artist. And what that means is, the biggest thing I get around that is it's less of a job and more of a lifestyle of living. You understand? So it's like, you first have to accept the fact that we're not normal. You see, we just shot somebody. the universe kind of like agreed with us. You're not normal. We're not normal. We're here. We're at cons. We're deciding to do things for a living that other people don't want to do or are scared to do. When I talk in college, I always tell art students this. I say, okay, Harry Potter fans. Isn't he Harry Potter fans? So, me too. But this is the thing about Harry Potter, about real life, is there are wizards and there are muggles. And that's real. We're the creative ones, we just happen to be wizards. Like, make no mistake, it's funny and it's cool, but that's what we do. Creativity is magic. Making movies, drawing pictures, impacting people's life through song and through what we do is magic. And just like in the Harry Potter world, the people that we're most close to in our family, the ones we love, may be muggles and do not understand or will never get what we're doing or what moves us, don't understand what we're staying up nights, making costumes, studying a scene, writing a song. Why? Creating something is life or death for us, and they're looking at like, that has no value in the real world. And it's okay, like that you don't have to stop loving them. They're just muggles. It's all right. But that's just kind of part of it. That's like the first thing is like accepting that you are different, that you are a wizard, but your difference makes you cool, actually. So let me start there and then go fly. Thank you. Thank you.
Avatar: The Last Airbender has 18 writing and directing credits given to it. Korra has 4. A lot of the fandom finds that Korra suffers in storyline because of this. How did you feel Korra holds up in comparison to Avatar, especially in terms of story?
It's a hard question. That was intense. First and foremost, that was like a lot of statistics that I was unaware of. But the thing is, how can I answer? I don't know. I'm always going to be biased because I'm way more invested in the original cast. Like the OG crew is like my crew, Even though I'm happy to be a part of the new crew.
You mean the gang?
The gang. The original gang is like where my heart's at, even though I love like Barney and Faustino and PJ, like those are my people. Like the Korra crew, I'm like happy to be down with them, but we're the original gang. But the difference is, the first year, as far as the story, I was, as a voice actors, we're not really involved a lot in that. Really, our conduits are Mike and Brian, which they're the leads of the whole series, both series. Vocal directing was Andrea Romano through the whole thing, and still is for both series. So I know that keeps a solid state on the voice acting. As far as the art direction and story editing and all that stuff, I have no clue what was going on there. So I can't really tell. I just, maybe they got fewer directors just because maybe Mike and Brian got more streamlined in what they're doing. I just applaud them because they really took a risk, and instead of just, as much as I would like would have liked them to like just continue the Zuko story to find his mother, or just continue with the original gang and just do a whole new trilogy about that. I thought it was, I applaud them for taking a risk and going into the future, having a female avatar, start to use technology and all the new things that they came up with the new bending and whatnot. So I really applaud that they really pushed themselves in that way. And some people like the old one more, some people like the new one more. I like the old one. That's good. Yeah. What's that? Tony? Toby? Cody. I'm sorry, you need a microphone, man.
I was wondering, and I've been wondering this for a long time, when no one's around and you're completely in private, you're sure no one can see you, do you ever put your hands on your hips and crow like a rooster?
Good reference. No. Not usually, at least. But I do. When I am standing like this sometimes, like that Peter Pan stance, I do catch myself going, this is weird. But then I never actually crow. It's weird. It's been so many years now, and it's like that character's 20 years old. And now it's kind of come back a lot recently through, through 20 years later, a new generation, through Homestuck, lots of the new fans through Homestuck. And then just through things, I just did a homemade films video. We sweeted, sweeting is, it's like Be Kind one. We redid some scenes from Hook that are dropping online next week, but it's hilarious because it's all homemade. And we actually do Rufio's death scene, and I'm in the costume, but I'll just give you, if you look at my Instagram, you can see the bones on my armor are plastic spoons, and then the headdress is boba straws. It's hilarious. And we're all older, what are we doing? That's the fun thing about YouTube is you can just kind of have fun with it. But with the Rufio thing, it's decades later, it's just a character that's still iconic in its own way. It's just interesting because now as I'm an adult looking at it, and I'm a fan of him too, because even rewatching some of the scenes for this redo thing, I was like, man, that's kind of cool. Outside of myself, it's so far away you can look at things that you've done and appreciate them as a fan, and see yourself, years later going, wow, that was really cool. But yeah, I don't, it's just weird to think that that Rufio, I'm Rufio. No, it's cool. Not weird. I just think it's cool. I think it's cool too. Questions, yeah.
If you could be any other Avatar character, male, female, animal, vegetable.
Is that Appa?
First and foremost, I don't know, I'm Fire. First, I'm Fire Nation. I am Fire Nation, but if I could be any other character, maybe Aang. You're the Avatar. That's cool. You can do all the elements. You get the girl. I guess it has to be Aang. If I had to be, I'm overthinking the situation. I'm yeah, I want to fly. I want to fly and bend water and earth and have fire still. I'm with that. In the back.
Okay, so even though your characters are written for you, right, or they have a general outline, do you take away something whenever you complete a show or something, or after you act the character? And do you feel that all characters you portray have a piece of you in them, or an essence of you?
Of course, yes. There's a saying for actors where they say the character's stuck with you and you're stuck with the character. That means all kinds. I don't know what it means. It's like the acting teacher tells you that, and you don't know what that means for years, and then things happen. You're like, oh, that's what that means. Ultimately, basically, you know, a lot of times as actors, you're like trying to pretend to be other things and all this kind of stuff, and that's part of acting. But what you realize as you get deeper into acting, now we're going to acting lessons and stuff. I can't believe we're talking about acting. But you can only do as much as in you. You know what I'm saying? There's not really, no matter what you think, you can go outside yourself. It's all within yourself, right? So that's always, you can never escape yourself like that. But then the character has you. So I'm talking metaphysical with things right now. But also what I'm trying to break down is, at least for me, ironically in my life, every time I'm doing a character, and I think it happens to a lot of actors, it's like the whole thing about life imitating art and art imitating life. Just for some reason, the right characters gravitate towards me in my life at the right time to inform me about things in my life, as hopefully, especially the characters that I've done that were able to transcend, like a Rufio or Zuko, that I was the right actor for that character at that time, and that's hopefully how it all works, you know?
Can you give us an estimate in how many hours you spent recording for the upcoming season of Legend of Korra?
I don't know. She's so sneaky. There's some stuff that went down. I don't know about timelines and stuff. I have no. This is the thing about voice acting. We really don't know because it's like kind of so far in the future. Like we might have taped it like a year ago, you know. And then you do a few other things, and then you don't know what anything's coming out anymore. And then you can't say anything because you sign contracts like these things called NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, right? And then you don't really think they mean anything until you say something, and then Nickelodeon's calling up your agent, yelling at them. And they're like, I was just at a con, and then this girl with a mushroom on her head. And you're telling the PR person what had happened was. Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, I don't even remember. I was there. I was hanging out at Nickelodeon with some Fire Nation people. Figuring out how we can get things done. Yeah.
Do you still break dance? And could you bust something out for us? What candy?
Break dancing, I mean, once a dancer, always a dancer. I still dance. Like,
It's a nice little spot.
I know, I don't like this moment. I've been a day of travel. I can hurt myself. But I love dancing. Probably dancing still is one of my, you know, joys in life, to like get lost on the dance floor. So I can still get dancing. Like the weird thing about it is like dancers always know dancers, right? If you walk into a club and a dancer, I mean, I know it too, but like if the dancer sees me, they're calling you out on the dance floor like 15 minutes into the club. Next thing you know, you're like, oh no, I wasn't ready to do this, but then here we are, break dancing. It's all good, I have a good time. But I love all kinds of dancing.
If it strikes you, just bust it.
If it strikes me, I might bust it.
So what do you think about the writers naming the character in Legend of Korra after Mako?
After Mako? I love it. You know, he's a part of the family. It's like, the thing about Mike and Brian is that, they're great guys, and they're brilliant, and they're just really, really good dudes, and they kind of show you, you know, Avatar was their first project, really, you know, and it really became this phenomenal hit, and they understand in the best of ways that we're all a part of it, and it's a really kind of Avatar family, and paying homage to things that help, you know, create who they are and who they become in industry. And Mako was a special person for them, like he was for me, and being the last project that we worked on, I think was an emotional thing for all of us, you know? So, being able to pay homage to them in their way, like a small way, that's just significant to us and to people that know, but not any really big, you know, ceremonies about the whole thing. It's just special, and I really love them for that. Yeah, in the red hoodie.
Hey, so you mentioned Homestuck, and
Yes.
I follow your Tumblr, and I see that you're kind of writing about Homestuck. I'm wondering, besides that, is there any fandom that you're writing into right now, or what are you reading, or what are you watching? Like, what are you burning through right now?
I mean, there's a bunch of things, and like, there's too much these days. It's crazy. And then when I talk to people on Tumblr and online, like I try to like, I've learned recently like, hey, you guys know more than me, like lead me in the right direction, right? So yeah, Homestuck is never ending. 'Cause I can never catch up. It's depressing sometimes. It ruins my reading. Problem is, I tell people like, I may not be the smartest person in the world because it's hard for me to read like multiple things, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just, my brain doesn't work that way. So Homestuck has been screwing up my reading for like...
There's a big pause right now, so...
I know, and I'm not up to that pause. But...
Neither am I.
I knew either, so I don't feel that bad. But as far as fandoms, I'm a big Game of Thrones person.
Yeah.
Love Game of Thrones.
Please say the book and not the show.
The show's so good, even though I heard the book is better and amazing, but the show's real good, really good.
Change the characters' names because I think it's going to be confusing for people, just like they did in Avatar.
I have to go back and read the books, but now I'm so entrenched in the show, it's hard for me to go back. But I'm going to go back. But I shit myself with like Khaleesi, for sure. So I like Game of Thrones. I love Star Wars. Who doesn't? Harry Potter, big Harry Potter fan. What else? There's tons of things that I'll watch because I'm dumb. Like I watch like Vampire Diaries. Because I do. Probably because Nina Dobrev is really cute. And vampires, I don't know. They just get caught up in the soap opera things, right? Recently I started Doctor Who. Yeah. Which is pretty awesome. It took me a while to kind of warm up to it because the first few episodes were like, are you guys really wanting me to watch this? But I'm digging it. And Homestuck took me a while too. Like the first things of Homestuck is all like, what am I reading, you guys? Like, are you really making me do this? But like the thing about Homestuck is it gets, all of a sudden you think this is like horrible art. Where's the storyline going? And then it takes you by surprise and blows you away in a moment. You're like, oh, it has those weird moments. What else? There's got to be other stuff in my mind. Growing up, I was a big Thundercats person. I still love the Thundercats. I don't know. There's a bunch of different things. Like that. But yeah.
You just mentioned that you were a fan of Star Wars, so what was it like working with Mark Hamill?
Dude. Mark Hamill. Everyone knows who Mark Hamill is?
Yeah.
Some people may not know. Some young people that think that Star Wars is the
Like those people who don't like
the pre-films, which is not the case. But so Mark Hamill is a beast. This guy's a legend, right? He's Luke Skywalker. And my thing about Mark Hamill that's hilarious is it's one of my favorite stories of Avatar. So I hadn't met Mark yet, right? And I'm doing I come into the studios in Burbank, and it's like dark night, and it's like, I don't know, now it's all like moody in my mind. Dark night, I think it was foggy outside. So I walk into the studio, and a lot of times we do, it's like, I walk in the studio, it's like May, Jack, all of us there, doing a whole episode, but this week, there's like nobody there. I walk into this empty studio, the microphone's there, and Andrea's in the booth with the producers and whatnot, and they're like, we're gonna just do you solo today, and we're gonna do your father's scene. All right, cool. And then I'm in there preparing, and Mark Hamill walks in. And I swear to God, he was wearing all black. He may not have been, but in my reenactment, he was like wearing all black and black gloves. So it's like hello, and I'm like kind of fangirling inside, but not really showing it. And then we just get into the scene, like not a lot of chit chat, none of that. And the scene with me and Ozai is an intense. It's the battle where he scars me, right? This is like this flashback scene, which I don't know if you guys remember the scene, but it's like. There's a lot of like, no, Father, no! Like, it's Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. That's what's going on. And doing it with Mark Hamill. And I'm Luke Skywalker. And he's he's a beast. Like, he's an amazing actor. So we're going. It's like, I wish there was a camera in the movie. We're like going. It's like you're acting. And so I was like, the scene ends and like I'm spent. You know what I'm saying? And then he just rolls out. With a very Darth Vader-ish sort of way. And then just leaves me like in the room, like practically like shaking. And I literally was like, oh my God. I just did the Darth Vader scene. The Luke Vader scene with Mark Hamill. It was just one of the most amazing moments in my life as like an actor and a fan. And so that's my first memory of Mark Hamill.
Awesome.
But I mean, since then we've done a series together, and I love Mark, and he's crazy. But like that moment, it was like amazing.
I do have a question, sort of expanding on that. Mark Hamill always looks like someone when you see him voice acting who does something once and does it right. Is that actually the case?
He can, yes, for sure. But it's even beyond that. He's like so good, and there's, and not just him. There's I've been fortunate to work with some of the greatest voice actors: Mark Hamill, Kevin Michael Richardson, Ray Delisle, Dee Bradley, all these dudes, DiMaggio, where these guys, they can do it once perfectly, but they're going to give you a few takes, and each of them are magical in and of their own, in and of their own way. And dynamic, you know what I'm saying?
So it's not a keep up or get left behind situation?
No, not at all. Like, they're there to play, and they're very loving as fellow actors. They're like always, because I always feel like I'm inferior, for sure. Because I like this, people like online, or people always like laugh, like, Jake sounds like Prince Zuko, like Dante sounds like Dante. Which I do, because I'm not, as a voice actor, I'm not really focused on doing a lot of different voices, right? I just try to act honest in the moment, as I try to do with my on-screen acting. And sometimes I'm getting in the room next to Kevin Michael Richardson or Mark Hamill, I'm like, I suck. Because I'll do like one character, and they're like doing 14 characters each, and talking to each other, and doing scenes, and I'm like, these guys are crazy. But then Michael Richardson, Kevin's always like, but I love your voice, man. He's awesome. But everyone does their own thing. It's like, it's human nature for us to compare each other to each other, but in the end, every actor has a special thing on what they do. I think part of what Mark does is play that crazy, maniacal madman, whether it's Joker or the tons of other characters. He just goes way out. And when you're in the room with him, when you're acting with him, you can totally feel his prowess and power, which is amazing. Which could be intimidating until he starts talking about other stuff, and we just crack jokes. Yes, Rose.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier how Mako had a character in the Avatar that was named after him.
Yes.
If you could have a character in the Avatar that was named after you, would you? And if so, what would you want them to do?
I don't know. Called Dante?
Yeah.
I don't know. They do say like Basco the bear might have been named after me. Basco. I'm like, thanks, Michael Bryan. Sure, it's someone's dog. I don't know. I mean, like in the future, if there's some Dante. I mean, Dante would be a great firebender name. Because Dante is like, it's synonymous with the devil, fire and hell. So I could see that. Maybe like an evil, firebender guy that finds good somewhere. I'll just voice him, But yeah, that could be cool. That'd be cool. Questions? Yes.
How do you approach the character of Iroh as opposed to Zuko? Two different.
I don't know how to. No, the thing is, when we did it, it was so strange, right? Because Mike and Brian were like, we want you to come do this character. We want you to play your grandson. And I'm like, that's an awesome idea. Except you know, this is voice acting. This isn't like, you know, when you do a live action film and say if Avatar was a series and then I came back to do my grandson and it was just me dressed up in a different outfit and everyone would go, that's Dante. Dressed up in a different time. That's cool. But when you're doing voice acting, that's a little bit different, you know? So we were trying different stuff with my voice and trying to do different things and all this kind of stuff, and then we were like, but then that defeats the whole purpose of like me coming back to play my grandson. And so it became like, you know, me with a different attitude, kind of a little bit changed. And I was, you know, honestly a little bit nervous, like this is kind of weird, I don't know if it's gonna work, because so many people, and myself, are very used to my voice for this world sounding like this guy, Zuko, right? And so many people. But then, you know, in Korra, when Iroh opens his mouth for like that one line, it's like my Twitter blew up. Which is crazy because, yeah, you know, it's I don't know. Some people say I have a very distinctive voice or something. And I, as much as a fan of cartoons and animation growing up, I don't know if I knew that much of the voice actors and whatnot. Maybe Optimus Prime was like the only one. Like I was like, for sure. But the passion that fans know and are that much engaged, not only the voice actors, but the directors and the animators, it's really remarkable. It's like a new age of of information that fans know how intelligent the fan base is now.
Yeah, do you feel that the switch from Zuko being a bad guy to actually being a good guy at the end was the right character choice for him? Or would you have rather felt him carry on the path and actually join Ozai and Zula?
No, I think it was the perfect path for him. I mean, the thing about every bad guy is they're actually a good guy in their mind.
Ozai?
Huh?
Ozai.
Even Ozai is trying to do what he's doing. Everyone,
in their mind, yeah, but like
in their mind.
Zuko actually went from being a bad guy to
Right.
a good guy in action, not like
He actually found a way to kind of like figure out what he was, you know. He was like, it's such a complex character, right?
Yeah.
So he was only really being bad because he's trying to please a father. But he was actually figuring out that there's other things at play in the world that's kind of more important than that, and that really, you know, the greater good is really what being good is about, kind of thing. I think it's the right path for him. You know, in my career, a lot of the characters I've played has always been that kind of kid who kind of finds the light, you know, who's perceived as one thing at the beginning of a project and finds out and is perceived differently by the end. And I don't know, I think that's the hero arc for, I think, a lot of us here. You know, we're all misunderstood and we try to win in the end somehow. Yes, in the white.
Hey. Okay, so you've fanned over Mark Hamill. Has anyone fanned over you while you also fanned over them?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, crazy now. It's late. Telling stories. Fangirl over each other?
Yep.
Yeah, that's happened. Oh man. I'm just thinking of stories in my head. It definitely has happened. But I mean, one story. I'll just tell you this quick one. A friend of mine, this girl, she's an actress, right? So back in the day, I don't know. Okay, are we filming this? What's going on? No, don't post this. So, back in the day, I go pick up this girl. A buddy of mine from New York is like, you gotta, this girl's coming to town. You should take her out. 5 minutes. So maybe I shouldn't tell the story. No. So she's like, she's like, take this girl out. Because when friends come to LA, I take them out. When friends go to New York, he takes them out. So he's like, this girl, take her out to some, you know, eat, take her to Clubwood. And I'm like, sure. So I go to this girl's hotel. We're in our 20s. I pick up this girl and I, you know, open the door and I let her in my car and I sit in the car and I look at her and that's the Avatar. Right? And I go, are you the Avatar? And she's like, yeah. And you know, kids would come out. She just does a movie called He Got Game. And then I was like, Yo, before the night goes on, I just have to tell you, like, I've had the biggest crush on you, you know? I just think you're an amazing actress, and like, me and my, like, just not me, I was like, I put on a whole crew, like, me and all my boys, like, we have a crush on you, like, we think you're amazing. And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why? She's like, I've just been jumping up and down on my bed in my hotel room because like, you were coming to pick me up. And then she's like, you said hi to me one time when I was 13 in the village in New York at a Ben & Jerry's. And I was like, God, I can't believe I'm telling you this story right now. And so we're sitting in my Pathfinder in front of the Universal City Fair and like, in silence, like, silently fangirling on each other in the car, like, are you hungry? Should we go get some? It was a pretty intense moment. That's all I'm gonna say right now. We have 5 minutes, so we'll do 2 questions.
We have something for you from one of our other guests.
Oh, awesome.
This is from Featherweight, who has a puppet making demo.
Oh, wow.
That's going on YouTube.
First of all, why is he so sad? I must regain my honor. We'll do one more question, then we're out of time, and then, but I'm speaking over the weekend, we're gonna be hanging out and stuff, so we'll just do the fluorescent hat in the back. I have a Q&A tomorrow at 4 in this room. And I have autographs, and I'm walking around here, and I'll be around on the weekend, so see you guys tomorrow. Before we go, what's your name and what's your question?
My name is
Sandra? What's up? I dig the hat. Thank you. I'm into it. You know, it's throwback 80s fluorescent. You know, neon.
I was just wondering what your favorite thing about Zuko was. Like your all-time favorite.
Like, thing in particular, or like favorite?
Anything. Like your favorite thing about what makes you, like anything, like personality, hair.
I love that he had a lot of different hairstyles. You know, it's like the ponytail Zuko, which was strange at first. And then like the awkward hair Zuko. And then like, I like to call him the emo Zuko. Like I really love the emo part of him. But I don't know, I guess my favorite thing about Zuko is that he, I don't know, you know, it's like he was just not perfect. Like his like imperfections are like great. And the fact that he owned up to his imperfections and was like, not, you know, he's just kind of like, I don't know, he's just a great character because, first of all, he's a prince. Hey, like, you're whining and stuff, but you're a prince, man. But he was just that guy that didn't lean on that, you know? And part of the thing about it is I just love that he was like this imperfect character that somehow found a way to redeem himself in the end and really, you know, had to go against a lot of the stuff. It's just imperfection. I think the great thing about people are their imperfections, and that's what's great about him. It's not like he's Superman, you know, and nothing against Superman. I like Superman, but I'm into Zuko, so I think his imperfections are probably like my favorite part of him. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. I don't know if you guys have a good weekend, or I'll see you guys at the weekend.